Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Miss Kandi, as always. I'm a black girl with a YouTube channel. Wow, that was a long intro. I'm another girl with a black. I don't think that's what I was saying. Another black girl with a YouTube channel. I think that's what I used to say. Nangiva and Katanga Mike. It's because here on this is the type of content that we started this channel with. The understandables. So yeah, it's been a while since we've had serious conversations, and that's because I wasn't in the right space to make videos at that time, because I don't think I had the time frame I needed. I don't know if that's the truth or it's an excuse, but I just know at some stage of that time frame I was not in the right frame of mind or emotionally to make such videos, and I felt like I was too serious, man. And I felt like, you know what, I don't want to be serious. I wanna be vibes, I want to be a vibes person. So that's why I took time on making these videos. But I felt like now that I have minor inconveniences, not to be dramatic, and then I have, on a serious note though, gives me the luxury or the pleasure to be both, hear me being myself every day, what people have to deal with, and then having such conversations that just gives us an insight. It's feeling on, you know what, I should not be like this. By the way, that's not the point. The point is that today I just want to speak about embracing your emotions, if I could say, and the ability to learn how to keep your mouth, if I could say. So yeah, during the frame that I was not shooting, I've learned these two things of embracing my emotions and learning how to keep my mouth at times, if I could say. Because I've been in a situation where emotionally it brought sadness to my life, and for a while I felt that sadness, and after that, I don't know, I want to advise people to deal with emotions the way I did, but it made me realize that if ever, I don't know, if I dwelled longer than I did in that emotion, I would have developed depression. I don't even know how depression starts, but I do think maybe it's cause of something bad happening in your life or your environment. Sometimes it's about how I feel about myself. And for me, that sadness was brought about a situation that took place, and in that situation, I was angry. I had anger. I had sadness. Feelings that I'm not familiar with. No, I'm not. I don't have time to feel those feelings, because I genuinely feel like they take away from the livelihood of you trying to experience yourself, or maybe say experience life in a positive manner. But when that situation took place, I was very much angry, so angry, and I was so sad because I was looking forward to that situation, and I thought I could build something for myself, or I could build something for me, but then things didn't go the way I thought they would go, and I felt that, and a person was the cause of this situation, the shot, but that's not the point. The point is, I've learned that it's okay to embrace your feelings. It's okay to embrace how you feel at that time, that moment, the feeling of anger, the feeling of sadness. It's okay to feel those, but what I've learned, what is not okay, is to dwell on them for a very long time. I'm not teaching you how to deal with your emotions. I'm not teaching you how to feel, but this is one thing I came to realize for myself. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but dwelling in a negative feeling for a very long time, it does kind of take away the positivity in your life, or any will to live. That's the word. It takes away the the will to live, because you start wondering, why am I alive? Why am I doing this? I have no purpose. I'm as good as useless. But you get the point. So I do have these conversations with people, and I'm like, I think suicidal thoughts comes from dwelling on a negative comment that a person said, or a negative feeling that you have about yourself, or dwelling for a very long time in that negative thing, to a point where now because you've been in that feeling, and then you've forgotten how it feels to be happy, or you have forgotten how it feels to be loved. You forgot how to be happy or how to love others. Do you understand? So that's one thing I've learned, because probably I went through it for like weeks, and when I've learned that, when I was feeling that sadness at the time, because I was done being angry, I kind of detached myself from my family. I was always in my room. Imagine, see my 5 but I'm always in my room. I only come up and eat, and once in a while I'll be snappy because of how everything. And especially before that, before I even went to come out to eat, I would just stay in my room basically. And I realized that these feelings also have the tendency of pulling you away from people, and because it pulls you away from people, it wants you to be in your own shell, and then it creates loneliness. Because at the same time, I felt like there are people I can talk to at home about this, or tell them this is how I'm feeling about this, but at the same time, because I felt like I'd be so much of a burden to them, because it's my problem to deal with, it's my emotional burden, my emotional baggage that I have to deal with. It kind of pulled me away from my family and created this thing of loneliness. Like I could start to feel like I'm feeling alone, and I was like, Namanga, there's no way. I shall not be controlled by emotions. So that's where I took the stance. I don't know if I'm using the right words at this point, but that's why I took the decisions of, you know what, I'm just gonna be in my mom's space, because that was the person I would be with most of the time. I was like, I'll be in my mom and my niece's space for as long as I can, because there's no ways I refuse to feel lonely when I know there's people around me who are willing to be there for me and support me. You understand? Even though I won't be able to share what I'm feeling or how am I feeling, but I will just be around people. And I know I have a friend, shout out Mam Kitty, that's around, that I can go to and chill with or do something with. You understand? So I took that liberty of, let me be around people. I cannot stay in this emotion for this long, because I can tell that it's either, because not only I was like starting to feel lonely, but I started losing purpose, and I was like, I don't understand why I'm leaving. I had once in a while, I thought of jumping in front of a truck, but I was like, that ain't gonna happen. Yes, but that's not the point. The point is how I was feeling at that time, and because I've allowed myself to dwell in that feeling for so long, whereas I could have been around people who had more life into them and positivity, and allowed them to pour into me. So yeah, I started being around my family even more. I'm connecting with friends that I haven't spoken to in years, and bumping into that person will make my life even easier, because I was like, it's been a while, and then after that, which is just frequent communication, allowing myself to meet people, and that's where Mam Kitty comes in. I was like, now around Mam Kitty, I'm like, hey girl, since we both have free time, let's start walking. Let's just do something with ourselves. And we started doing something for ourselves, and that allowed me shift my focus from the negative feelings to being me again, if I could say, allowing myself to be positive and ignoring the anger and everything. But that was not easy because now kind of there's, you know, things that are happening around you that make you wanna, but that's not the point. The point is I've learned that it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be sad, it's okay to have negative thoughts, it's okay to feel how you feel. It's not okay to embrace those feelings for a very long time, because they don't turn into anything good. If they don't isolate you, they make you snappy. If they don't make you snappy, they make you hate yourself. So my advice, not advice, but what I've learned the past few days since I've stopped making videos talking about serious things, is that it's okay. It's okay to be angry. It's not okay to be angry for too long. It's okay to be sad. It's not okay to be sad for too long. You know, does it get better? No. But do you learn how to cope and live with it? Yes, you do. And eventually, does it get better because you've learned how to cope and deal with it? Yes, it does. And does it help you see things differently? Yes, it does, you know. So no one can tell me that you can't tell me about Nyashad. That's not the point. But hopefully, I hope this shares some insight. Let's feel. It's okay to feel, but let's not feel too much, because sometimes we just let emotions drive our lives and drive our decision making. You know, sometimes you gotta be logical. And I feel like the reason I was able to pull myself out of those emotions and out of isolation is because logical, like my mind kind of started allowing me to see, can you see now, you are starting to feel lonely? Can you see now that you're losing your purpose, the will to live? I don't know if it's the same thing, it's different. I don't know, but I've said it before. But you know, it allowed me to see, can you see now what you're doing? Can you see what's happening? So can you just do something about it? And yeah, so sometimes we just have to be logical as people and don't let emotions drive our lives. And the reason why I was in that situation of how I was feeling, it was because of my mouth. So, and the thing is, you know, for my religion, I just can't lie, you know. And when I was asked a question, and I was like, the answer to the question was no. But because I had to phrase it better, I had to say, I don't mind it. I don't like it, but I didn't mind it either, so I would do it regardless, you know. And because of that, and speaking to people, and then I got advices, and then I went and I spoke to this one person, and this person was like, girl, I think you're hasty. And I was like, I'm not hasty, I'm making a decision for my life. You know, because this kind of directs where I'm going with myself and my career, but then that didn't end well. So I would say, not because I'm quite an open person. I don't know if I'm transparent, but I'm very open, so it won't be hard for you to not see if I don't like something, or I'll just voice it. You know, if something's bothering me, I will talk about it, complain about it. So I guess they just knew, you know, and I felt like at that time I could have just kept it to myself. I would be asked to explain, and then I would explain why I didn't like certain things or that certain thing, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm being too open, or maybe because I got too comfortable. But I know that I get open quickly, but I do get open and I talk a lot when I'm comfortable. So I've learned that in some cases, just don't be too comfortable in the place. Just assess your area to see if it's a place for me to be able to be open or to keep my mouth. But you know, Bible does say, who keeps his mouth keep his life. So not everything that you're feeding or everything that you like or dislike or love or hate is worth you penising or saying and telling other people. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. But keeping your mouth is not that much. I just wanted to talk about emotions with you. It's okay to feel, but it's not okay to dwell in it for a very long time. Yeah, guys, hopefully I can do these again, hopefully more, but I feel like I'll just speak about this the more I go through something or realize something or anything around me. But yes, it has been nice talking to you guys. I feel good speaking about this because I wasn't sure, but Anyways, for me, Maskandi.